Well, hello everyone. I am starting to do some backpacking. This is kind of a shakedown try. It's a little over a 10-mile trail. I got my backpack all packed and everything is ready to go. As you can see using the map, this is a Waterloo, and I'm going to butcher it, Pinckney trail. The reality is it's about 28 miles long. I'm not doing the full length. I'm doing about 10 miles worth. As you can see, I start here as the map pulls out, and I'll be following the red line, which sort of turns into a yellow line here, all the way to this point right there. The purpose of this particular one is it's a shakedown, trying to figure out what I've got going right, what I've got going wrong. I can already tell you, looking at doing my backpack, a few things I've got going wrong. One, the inside of the backpack, it doesn't carry as much as I'd like. I had my sleeping bag in it, and it took up almost the entire space. So there's probably a new backpack in the future. Or maybe it's partly the problem of the sleeping bag itself. It just doesn't condense down enough. But I will see. It's like I said, this is a shakedown. Find out what is good, what is bad. And so far, without even doing one step on the trail, I can tell you what a few things that have already gone wrong. This is the start of the trailhead right here. It's going to be mostly stuff like this. But you'll see this type of. Alright, figure I'd give you guys a chance to see me actually put this behemoth of a pack on. I'm sure I've overpacked even for just a single night, but there it is. Followed by the grasses. Fanny pack. So I can get things that I need to get to close quickly. Okay. And finally. Oh, nice. That said, I am moving on with the trail. As you can see, it's a nice, pretty well maintained trail. It gets used a lot. It's a nice time of the year to be doing it too. All the foliage is out. Really good. With that, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Well, first mile in, I can tell you, the one thing I can remember and have been reminded of that I do hate about forest trails is every step you take, you are running into a damn spider web. Before it's over with, I'll be able to start a silk factory with the amount of webbing I've got on me. But it is still quite the beautiful area. Well, and I'll keep going. I'm already starting to realize this is going to be tougher than I thought it was going to be. But I'm sure I'll make it through. So for that, we will move on for a moment. Alright, I believe we've reached Sackrider Hill, which is a little over halfway to my point, my camping spot. And I believe at the end of this, up top at the summit, I believe is the highest point of this entire trip. You can see, they even put steps onto this ascent, even though they have apparently grown over since the last time I was here. Well, once I get up there, I think I'll take a little break, maybe take some of the rocks out of my shoes, have a snack, drink of water, sit down for a few. So, well, let's get to it. Well, we made it to top of Sackrider Hill. There's a bit of a history to this. You can see that cross over there. Well, it used to be a much bigger cross. It was huge. Somebody obviously replaced it with this. There's a little bit of a recent history about it. There was a debate on whether religious objects should be put on public lands. So it was decided that it would be removed. I suppose it was probably a good idea. Otherwise, what's to stop any other religion from putting theirs up here? And where you'd end up with a lot of vandalism and stuff. Unfortunately, there's a lot of religious division still in the country. So it's, like I said, probably for the best. And here's the little platform I am going to take a break on and get a little something to nibble on. Now, a nice little bench to sit on. Got me some homemade chicken jerky. Unfortunately, it's not bad, but I left it in a little long, so it's a little tougher than I normally like it. And some Myers Berry Chocolate Trail Mix. Sounded good. Dried cranberries, cherries, bittersweet chocolate chunks, love chocolate. Almonds, cashews, and walnuts. Don't mind walnuts, they're alright, but the cashews and almonds, oh yeah, big winner. Kept this stuff unwisely stuffed in the back of my backpack where I couldn't get to it. Fix that problem this time. Shove it into my pockets now instead, so I can get to it easier. Like I said, a little drier than I like it, but it still tastes pretty good. Still has all the stuff you need. Teriyaki, a little bit of garlic in it, ginger, and of course pepper. Good stuff. Yeah. Alright. I'll get back to you when I'm all done with my little break here. Well, it looks like I am heading on out. This is about almost 6 miles out the Sackrider Hills summit. So, like I said, probably just over halfway to the campsite. Well, working my way that way, I've already discovered a few issues with the pack. It's either not well adjusted to me, or it's just a crappy pack, one way or another. It's one way or another, something's gonna have to be done. The last time I actually came to this point, I was hiking here with my niece Nevaeh and my nephew Peyton. I think they were like 10, my nephew being 10 and my niece being like 13 or 14. It was just a couple of years ago. So they were all actually into doing it. And then we finally get to Sackrider Hill, stop for lunch, which was going to be our stopping point. And they basically ran out of gas there. And ended up getting shown up by an uncle who was 40 plus at the time. Just to let you know, just because you're young doesn't mean you can't be out of shape. And just because you're older doesn't mean you can't be in shape. But it was a lot of fun. We ended up taking some roads and such home instead, back to the car instead, because they weren't having the trail anymore. So I will keep on moving and talk to you again in a bit. Well, as you can see, I've gotten to part of the trail that is shared with horses. So it's possible I might run into some people on four-legged friends. But as of right now, all I have is their droppings to prove the point. See you in a bit. Well, I finally ran into my first real wildlife here. And all my luck, it is a freaking snake. I mean, for those of you who know me, me and snakes, we're not on the same team. I've kicked some dirt and stuff, tried to make it go away. I realize it's probably a garter snake and it's harmless. But man, they scared the living shit out of me. Anyways, I'm going to do what I can to try to make it move, because I am not going to just walk over it. Alright, let me see what I can do. It won't move. So, I'll just trailblaze around it. Dumb. Anyways, bye. That is why I actually like hiking with others. So that way they can scare the snakes away and I don't have to. Alright, let me keep moving. I'm getting close to being to the campsite. Alright, I found this nice little signpost. Blue Horse Trail, creek, outhouse, switchback, and camp. Outhouse and camp. That points the direction, so that's the way we will go. Well, it looks like I am here. We got the outhouse right there. Some people with, and then backpacking campground, advanced registration only. That's where I am at. Going into it. There it is. That's actually a pretty nice campground. I'm number 3. It's 1 there. Oh, 2 would have been really nice. Oh. 3 is... I'm guessing right here maybe? That's 4, so yeah, this has got to be 3 right here. Oh, perfect too. No, that's 5. I'm 3. 3 must be this one. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think this will do. Got a couple trees I can hang my hammock on. Oh yeah. This will be just nice. This is going to be great. There's a fire pit, but fires aren't allowed, so whoever did that did it illegal. I guess I'll have a table, which is awesome. Oh, I thought that's it. I am going to start to set things up after I take a quick break. Well, I started at just after 12 o'clock. And it is currently just after 4:30. So, approximately a 4.5 hour trip for 10 miles. According to my watch, I averaged about 21 minutes a mile. Yeah, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I've been running pretty much 5 miles a day. Walking about the same. I stay pretty active. So, am I in shape? For this, absolutely not. Man, I am going to sleep like a baby tonight. And the worst part is, I still have to travel more so I could go and get some water. This place doesn't have water. I knew that, but they also said that there's a place about a half mile up the trail that does have water. And that's where I'm going to have to go to fill up my water bag. But till then, I might as well just enjoy what I have. And I will get back to you when I go to actually set things up. Okay, I got my shelter up for tonight. I will be ready to go to bed when the time comes. There it is. I decided to go with a hammock since I have all these great trees to hook it up to. Don't get me wrong, I brought a tent just in case. But there's the hammock. It actually goes up real nice on these trees. I've done it at home and the trees there aren't as nice to put it on. So, oh yeah, and I've slept in it one time before. Man, you can sleep like a baby in them. You are never going to be more comfortable. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I am going to pass out tonight. Well, it's almost 6 o'clock. I think I'm going to go about making my dinner. Got this little camping stove here. Very compact. I like it quite a bit, even as a self-striker. What I'm having is some dehydrated chicken soup I made. At least that's the plan. We'll find out if it works or not. For all I know, I might be eating trail mix and chicken jerky for dinner. Some of you have watched know that I actually at one point was working on a forestry degree and may be wondering, hey Dave, why not, name some of the different trees you see out there. Reality is, there are people that follow me that might actually know what the tree is because they were in forestry as well, and I don't want them to know how out of practice I really am. So that's the reason. With that, I think I'm going to get with making dinner. It's probably going to be an early night for me. Figure 9 o'clock I'll go to bed. Another thing, and I'll show you guys tomorrow, but I went to go get water and I had to follow the trail around and go to an intersection about maybe a quarter of a mile down that way, and then head north for about a half a mile because that's the nearest water source. Luckily, I didn't need to filter it or anything. It was potable water. However, on the way back, I found there was a shortcut, which would have knocked probably a good 15 minutes off my trip. Literally, I could go straight north, right past the outhouse, towards the horse stable where the water is. And I will actually show you that guy tomorrow. But until then, I will, at least till later, I will get back. Later. Well, this is my little bag of chicken soup. It has the noodles, the chicken, and the seasoning for it. Basically, put it in one of these vacuum seal bags, which can actually take boiling water. Just pour the seasoning in as soon as I can. Pour it on in. I need to find a way to carry the seasoning a little easier than this bag though. Once that water is finished boiling, which is almost there, just take it and pour it into this bag. And then I got this little thing here to seal it up. Oh, we got boiling water. Turn this bad boy off. Alright, I don't actually have a heat mitt, so I'll try to do this without burning myself. Do it way over here like so. Ooh-wee. That water got hot quick. Alright. Give me a little something to stir it up with. Just a little bit. At least this, in theory, is how it's supposed to work. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. Alright, and then make sure all the noodles are down as much as I can get them into the liquid. That bad boy there. Do a bit, a little something like that. Take this little seal thing here. There it is. And then just let it sit. Find out how it turns out. I've made this before at home, but I actually didn't use dehydrated chicken. This has dehydrated chicken in it, so I'm having to rehydrate the chicken as well as liquefy the noodles. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, I think I've waited long enough. Let's give it a go. Okay. It's still definitely hot. Noodles definitely seem like they're probably good enough. And actually I was pushing on some of the chicken. It was looking like it's probably, okay, then again, maybe not. Some of these chunks look pretty hefty. But there we are. Let's do it. There. They definitely need to sit a little longer. Those noodles are definitely still too hard. Okay, I waited another 5 minutes. Let's try it again. Still very hot. Let's just try one noodle first. The noodles are doable. Let's try the chicken. Okay, chicken's still a little bit on the chewy side, but it's doable. All in all, as camping food goes, it's not too bad. A little bland. I may have added a little too much water, or maybe I didn't add enough of the seasoning. One of the two. I'll experiment more at home, figure out what the right combination and right amount of time is in order to try to perfect it. I mean, all in all, I think it's not a bad idea. Not a bad food product for camping. I just got to get it right. All right. Well, that is about all I'm going to give you for my dinner. Later. Well, I've got about 2 hours to kill till I'll probably even be able to go to sleep. Brought my Kindle with me. Be reading a little bit of that, at least part of the time. I doubt I'll be able to put 2 hours of reading in on it. Currently reading The Count of Monte Cristo. If we choose, replied Danglars, he will remain what he is, and perhaps become even less than he is. yeah, that is what I'll be reading. Well, with that, I probably won't talk to you again until it is time to go to bed. So, I'll see you then. Well, it's not quite 9 o'clock yet, but I've decided to crawl into the hammock either way because the insects are getting to be unbelievable out there. And while I am sprayed down, it just gets very tiresome trying to swat them and kill them and get them off of me. Or get them away from me at least. So with that, I am going to turn in for the night. And I will see everybody in the morning. Well, it's just before 7. It's quite cold. Didn't sleep as well as I'd liked. Had a bit of a headache. Kind of kept me tossing and turning most of the night. So I'm imagining it's going to be a pretty fun hike out. Boiling some water, going to have some oatmeal. Hopefully that will put me in a better state of mind, help get rid of the headache. Hopefully it's just sort of hunger induced, though I doubt it, I haven't been eating. Well, we'll just see how it ends up going. Yeah. Well, I'm heading out to get water for the day. Man, I started getting so cold this morning when I got up. I had to throw on my rain jacket and my long sleeve shirt. It was pretty chilly. I guess I should have brought a little something other than that. But anyways, as I was saying earlier, man, to get water last night, I actually came out of the camp spot and I actually went back that way, which you go for about a quarter of a mile, then you turn north and it will take you to where there's water. However, I could have taken the shortcut by walking just right on through here, past the outhouse, to that trail right there, and it's a straight shot. Takes maybe 10 minutes. The other route took about 30. So yeah, that was smart on my part. Yeah, but hey, you live and learn. Not much else I could do about that. But yep, get some more water and then get back and head on out. Alright, see, this is where I get my drinking water. Yeah, real high tech. It's actually not a hand pump like you think. You actually pull it up and it gets the water going. But hey, water is water. I don't have to filter it. Don't have to put any purification tablets. Take what you can get. Doesn't taste that great, but it's doable. Well, all packed up on my way out, heading back towards the car. Hopefully things will stay like this. It's 8:30 in the morning, so it's still rather cool. Should make for a nice, easy way back to the car. So with no further ado, on I go. Well, I can tell you this. Distance is definitely relative to how tired you are. This area here, parking lot, when I came to it yesterday and I walked from it to the camp spot, it seemed like it took forever. The walk back to it felt like it didn't take any time at all. It was like a blink of an eye. So this shows that when you're tired, yeah, distance and time are totally different to you. made it back to Sackrider Hill, which means I have a little over half my distance left to go. Luckily, most of it now is more level. A lot of the up and down is in the second half, which means I still have a little up and down to go, but for the most part, yeah, it's done. I definitely could use this break. Still got a slight headache, but it's manageable. And I think now I'll take my vitamins for today and sit here for a couple of minutes to recoup and then head out to get back. Well, I've reached my last mile, and then I will be done. A few things to think about. Yeah, harder than I expected it to be. Like I said earlier, appear to be in physical shape, but not so much trail shape. I'll have to work on that somehow. I'll figure it out. Anyways, just keep moving on. Well, I made it. All the way through it. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. My bones are aching. That's just going to take time, I suppose. Probably different gear, which I will go through later in a post-trail evaluation of what's gone on. But with that, I am really looking forward to getting out of here, getting myself a soda that I've been dying for. The headache is finally gone too. Oh, with that, thanks, and I will catch you in a while. Well, with that shakedown backpacking trip completed, it's time to do a little bit of a breakdown and discoveries section to discuss the things I had noticed during the backpacking trip. To start with, the backpack itself, well, didn't really care for it. I read a review prior to the backpacking trip that gave it that it was really sturdy and durable, but it wasn't very comfortable, and I could definitely give evidence that that is the case. I mean, it was sore on my hips, it was sore on my shoulders. I mean, there may have been some adjustment issues that needed to be done. But all in all, I don't think it was actually that great of a backpack. I'm looking into getting another one, a Granite 60 Blaze, which from all the reviews I hear is a great backpack, carries a lot. The current backpack I have actually doesn't really carry all that much. I put my sleeping bag into it, and I basically ran out of room. That's why I ended up having it attached to the back of my backpack instead of inside of my backpack, which is what most people would do. I also decided I'd go with the fanny pack. Also a bad idea. I found it actually took up space where my hip strap for my backpack was supposed to be.
and it made things also uncomfortable. I mean, I felt it would be a good idea to have something where I could readily get the things, that and also a place where I could put things that I knew I wasn't going to use but I needed to have, such as my wallet. So it was in a safe place and wouldn't get lost. But yeah, I think in future backpacking trips, I'm going to ditch the fanny pack. The backpack I'm looking at actually has pouches on the hip strap, so I think I could probably substitute one of those as the fanny pack aspect of my design. Next, my boots. They seem to be great for short term, but they don't seem to be that good for any long term hiking. I slid around a bit in them. I know there are ways to prevent the sliding, and that's what I did, and I still found it wasn't all that comfortable. Occasionally my toe would hit the tip of the boot. I might be able to fix that with insoles. I had intended to put insoles in them to avoid plantar fasciitis, but I forgot to do that, and that might be able to fix it, so I might give that a go in my next trip. But a lot of people said that using trail runners are their favorite thing to do. It's more comfortable. They find it's easier on their feet, yet they still have a thick sole. The downside is they don't have the endurance that a hiking boot would. That, like I said, and so therefore I'd have to replace them more often. And as far as ankle support, which is the reason why I go with boots, I could probably just use a couple ankle braces instead in order to give me that extra support. The next item was the hammock. The hammock is comfortable, but I'm thinking without all the extra trimmings, which add a whole lot of extra weight to it, that it's just not a good option when things start getting cooler. I can't really move around too much in it, so I can't readjust my sleeping bag. And in the warmer weather, I tend to like to keep the sleeping bag slightly unzipped, so that way I can like stick a leg out of it or pull it back a bit to give me a little bit of ventilation to cool me off. However, it got cold, or at least cool enough, the night that I was camping, and it just wasn't comfortable, and I couldn't find a way to inside the hammock to adjust it so that I could zip it up. I mean, like I said, the hammock's area is pretty limited, and the ability to maneuver in it's pretty bad. So in the future, I probably am going to stick with my tent in some sort of ground mat. My sleeping bag, I've tested this before in regular conditions, and it is very warm. I like it. It's a great sleeping bag. Problem is, it's humongous. It doesn't scrunch down very well, and it ends up taking a lot of space. It, like I said, it's quite warm. I actually like it, but because of the simple fact it's not easy to store, and I don't really like the idea of storing it on the outside of my bag just in case it starts to rain. I think I'm probably long term gonna have to get a different sleeping bag that is able to condense down into a smaller form. But other than that, like I said, the bag is good. It holds up to a lot of weather. I need something that can condense down more. My meals. What can I say about the meals? You guys have seen the videos on them. My snacks, the trail mix, the chicken jerky, it was fine, and I basically sustained off of those. However, the chicken soup, I could not seem to get the noodles or the chicken itself to absorb enough water to be really palatable to me. I mean, the broth itself was great, but you can't live off of the broth alone. As far as the breakfast, the oatmeal was absolutely awful. I don't know if it's just the instant oatmeals in the cups that make it bad, or maybe it was the off tasting water, or I needed to add sugar or something. Of course, the idea of adding sugar, that kind of defeats the purpose of bringing the cup of oatmeal, because that means I have to bring something extra along with it. I am obviously going to have to reevaluate my trail meals because those did not work. I mean, with the chicken noodle, maybe I can replace those noodles with like ramen noodles instead. That might make it better. I don't know what I would do with the chicken. The chicken is dehydrated and it has to rehydrate, and maybe smaller pieces might work. But I don't know. I'm going to have to reevaluate that and get back to it. And last but not least, my hatchet. This was the biggest mistake. The sucker weighs probably close to 3 pounds. I never used it. I probably never will use it. Even if I have to cut wood for some reason. I mean, I can probably use my knife and a stick of some sort in order to split smaller pieces. The knife I got from the Irishman is a pretty good knife, and I think it could probably hand up to the abuse. So with that being said, yeah, the hatchet is probably going to be gone for good. I don't foresee myself using it again. And with that covers basically my entire trip. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.